Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel or becoming a patron at patreon.com/Afterlife Topics.
Hello and welcome to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. This is your host Cyrus once again coming at you with another video. And today I'd like to talk about the shift and how once again my Looney Tunes spirit team has provided another very interesting prediction, prophecy, whatever you want to call it, which is that tonight the whole sky is going to change with all these different stars all over the place. And it's going to once again be completely different than it was the last time when I actually did see some really weird stuff on a prior video. Now I took that video down just because when I first received this message, I was a little bit freaked out that, I don't know, like the government would freak out and find this video and harass me or try to make me do like weird experiments with them. Kind of like those weird experiments that Anthony Fauci is doing. I hope I don't get squelched by YouTube for saying something like that, because we all know how it's political now to talk about puppies being eaten alive by sandflies. I should have put a trigger warning there. My spirit team is telling me that this has something to do with that. I know that sounds weird and hard to believe, but it basically has something to do with the fact that this type of experiment was actually created to incite the end of the world. Now, once again, this sounds like it's completely bonkers to me. I don't understand how a really horrible, cruel experiment could incite the end of the world, but I do know my spirit team is telling me that the end of the world is not going to be incited. And why is that? Because apparently something to do with the collective subconsciousness has kind of rejected the idea of ending the world. So what that means is that when the world does end, it is something that is generated by the collective subconscious. What that means is that effectively, when God comes down from the sky and something terrible happens, which reportedly has happened already in that other Earth I've talked about in some of the prior videos and the things I've talked about on the internet, what basically happens is that, well, let's see, somehow the collective consciousness hates something so darn much. Well, I guess hatred is kind of a wrong word, because I think hatred is actually something that is sort of like so awful that our human language doesn't understand it completely. But let's say the subconscious collective absolutely despises something so much that it's completely done even dealing with it. And apparently those puppy experiments was one such incident. As a result of this, what we're looking at is a moment whereupon the collective subconscious of the whole entire planet as effectively decided not to end the world. Instead, they're going to show a great miracle to tell everyone a message of peace and hope that those horrible experiments that were being performed by a group called Sons and Daughters of Zion, apparently, are now being essentially, shall we say, cleaned up by great and powerful spiritual forces. So I don't know anything about this group. I just learned about them fucking today. So I have no idea who they are. I have no idea really what they want. I have no idea if this is behind like a lot of the conspiracy culture. I have no idea if this has anything to do with some of the other weirder things that we see on the news. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that my really crazy fucking spirit team has once again told me that there's going to be this great, amazing prophecy related to all of those things happening. Now, at this point, you may be wondering, do I still trust my super crazy, bleeping awesome spirit team? What I'll say is yes. Why? Because they have been performing miracles, they have been healing people, they have been curing cancer, they have been, basically telepathically communicating with people, they have been healing people from voices inside their head, they've been communicating to people with copper dowsing rods, they have been actually appearing to people in their homes. There was somebody on my team named Shanastara, and she's like this like orb of green light, and it was double triple corroborated by me and one of the women in my community. Hello, Debbie Booth, who's been on the show before. So I think that, as I like to say, the proverbial cat is out of the bag. So what will happen tonight, I do not know. I'm going to go out with a lawn chair into the desert and see what happens. Report back tomorrow. As always, use your own discernment. Understand that the communications are real, but what happens next, we don't know, because this is the will of the gods. What Fauci did, God only knows. That's it for now. See you next time, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.